we have distortions of our exporters face distortions abroad that foreign firms do not face here. To the extent we can, President Trump can use a variety of policies and tools, including tariffs, to correct for that. That would be great. The one thing, though, that President Trump did campaign on is lowering inflation, and tariffs will make it a little bit harder to do that. And it will just be that much more important then to cut government spending, fiscal discipline, boosting productivity and an energy abundant policy, as he has also talked about. So can it be used as a negotiating tool? Yes. Does it work? Sometimes, yes, as we've seen in the past, especially with President Trump and Japan and ag. But can also lead to a lot of retaliation and could work. It could also lead to a global trade war. But there definitely are distortions out there that we do need to address.
Christine, no question. We don't want dumping here when it comes to steel, when it comes to automobiles or anything else. We don't want dumping from subsidized industries overseas coming here and disrupting things. But there is an entire school of thought that if you protect yourself entirely from competition with other countries, that companies will not be as lean and as efficient and effective as they could be or should be otherwise. You also have the issue of thinking that we can push our partners on things, but maybe our trading partners on things. But if we are picking an America first nationalistic view on every single issue, and I'm thinking in the case of Japan, where Nazak pointed out that we had very good things that we worked out with Japan in the last time, from agriculture with working on some of these tariffs. Now we're telling Japan that Nippon Steel cannot come here and invest in a U.S. company and buy that company and spend money here. Is there a point where there's a little too much pushing that goes on, or do you think this actually makes for better deals?
There's so much there. Well, first of all, tariffs do raise prices. Okay, to what extent is questionable, and especially for the downstream industries. So we can't necessarily just brush that off. The ITC study and others definitely showed that the price increases, but it wasn't disastrous. That said, can it be used as a tool for reciprocity? Yes, absolutely. In some cases, President Trump did that in agriculture, after we pulled out of TPP. But look, there is no perfect world. Hopefully, we'll get a little bit closer to that over the next 4 years. But whether or not we're ever going to get to, a tit for tat, one for one reciprocity, you don't want to hold out for that, until the very end, and then you end up dooming yourself in. You get the situation where then you end up closing yourself off to competition. The Nippon Steel deal, I don't think it's over yet, but that was an interesting potential opportunity for U.S. Steel to get a real injection of capital, technology, managerial expertise that could really, help them to be sustainable moving forward. Look, if tariffs worked, the steel industry would be booming right now. They've had decades and decades of a lot of tariff protection, a lot of a variety of other protection from competition, import competition. So if tariffs worked, we wouldn't have a declining steel industry. So just keep that in mind. Will tariffs be disastrous? Probably not. But they're not going to be costless either. And yes, they do help save some jobs in those particular protected sectors. But but then everybody else who buys those goods have to pay higher prices. So it's not a free lunch. It never is. Trump says he wants reciprocity in trade relationships. That could be a very good outcome. We'll just need very good negotiators to make sure that happens and doesn't end up in the global trade war.